I'm Alan Todd. Have you ever been asked by an artist friend to critique their work, or even been tempted to put up a comment on a site like the Upbeat Artist Group? Some people find it very difficult to express themselves when it comes to art. Either they don't know the language, or they reduce it down to maybe just one word, as in awesome or something like it. What I'd like to do in this series of videos is to hopefully help in the way to express something about a painting, and if you're going to suggest ways of improving it, perhaps explaining why you think what you're suggesting will work. There are a number of forms of commentary. All of them have value, but they do vary considerably. One of those is the simple note of encouragement. Now, that's all well and good. It probably doesn't tell you a great deal if you are asking for advice about what to do with your painting, but I guess it does offer encouragement, and there's nothing wrong with that. And these probably don't help much either. Awesome gets used a great deal, but when you realise it means fear of an all-powerful figure, I'm not sure it has any meaning at all. And if someone described one of my more abstract paintings as nice, I might get quite insulted. There is another collection of comments. Now, these should be taken with a grain of salt, I think. Look at these ones here. I think you should add more pink. It needs a black dot. Stand it in the corner and wait for 2 days. It needs to be better organised. Now, it's well-meaning. Largely, though, it's based upon other people's experience. And if that's what you're calling for, all well and good. But I don't think you can actually transfer the practice and sensibilities of one artist to another. But in some ways, you've got to back up what you are talking about by saying why. Why do you need a black dot? What is it going to do? How is it going to benefit you? The first thing to do with any critique is to make a statement about what has been achieved. Now, it may not be a great deal. Often without knowing it, particularly beginner artists don't see the underlying geometry. In this case, I can see the diagonals have been aligned with major shapes, and that gives us a sense of structure. There is also a sense of a spiral through this, so there's a sense of movement around the canvas. It leads the eye to a particular point. However, one thing that doesn't work is the line across the top. It acts like a barrier. It's got nothing to do with the way everything else moves, so probably it should be eliminated. So this is the statement we can make here. Talk about a strong sense of swirling energy, spiraling red shapes, and the use of diagonals. However, you can talk about the linear elements at the top of the painting actually detracting from the movement and leading the eye elsewhere. You can also talk about the mark making, because this is essentially a painting about mark making. Now, there's an interesting variation. You get broader brushy marks and you get finer drawn marks, could be with a pen or something. What might be of advantage here, and it's only a suggestion, is that some more definition, perhaps in the linear marks, might add to the compositional directional of this. There's a reasonably good tonal range here. You've got a dark in a blackish green, you've got red, you've got into a yellow, and some areas of white. Now, in some respects, it could probably stand a few highlights. I say that because it probably needs lifting. Tonally, much of it is very much the same, and a few white highlights might make the difference in bringing it to life. Having said all of that, the next step is to look at specifics. It's all right talking just about words. So I propose to look at the elements of art. So composition, colour, texture, line, value, and see what can be said and how it might be helpful. And obviously explain why I am suggesting any of this. Hopefully it will be helpful to you.